Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Howard's Horse Handicapping. This is Howard Kravitz. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. We have a great show. We're going to be talking about the late pick five at Keeneland tomorrow. And also, I'm going to give you a caveman ticket for the 20-cent mandatory pick six payout also tomorrow at Santa Anita. Again, thank you for joining me tonight. There's a lot of ways that you can get in touch with me. First of all, through my new email, which you just saw on the screen there down below. It is hkravitzhorse at gmail.com. hkravitzhorse at gmail.com. You'll see it on the scroll there below. Also, please follow me on Twitter at hkravitz, HKRAVETS. Again, everything's blown up. Twitter, I have a lot of people following, a lot of people subscribing to my YouTube channel. Speaking of which, please make sure you hit that subscribe button in the corner. And also, if you're watching live tonight, please comment there on the right side of the screen. I'd like you to chat in our on the right side there. Type in whatever you'd like to talk about, any comments you have about my picks for the Keeneland Pick 5, anything you'd like to add. Last night we had a great conversation talking about a lot of things, but especially about the Kentucky Derby prep races, 3 of them that are happening tomorrow. And also, don't forget, I have a free contest. If you've not seen the video from yesterday, episode 23, or you were not on our live stream, please make sure you go to my YouTube channel and check out episode 23. Just click on it and play in my free contest. You're going to put your pick for a trifecta below the video player, where you can comment below the video player your trifecta for the Wood Memorial and the $1 payout in the trifecta. If you hit the trifecta, and if it's and a tiebreaker if necessary is the $1 payout in that trifecta, you'll win a $50 gift certificate to Old Smoke Clothing, or we'll make a donation in your name to a horse racing charity. I will be contacting you. So please join my free contest. It's coming out of my own pocket just because I care about you, the viewer. Please make sure you read the rules for the contest. It's on episode 23 towards the end. You can read all about it. You must be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. It's so easy, real easy. I mean, all you have to do is just hit that subscribe button right there, that red button. That's it. Also hit the notification bell so you can find out when my next videos are coming up. We've got a lot of people already watching tonight. I thank you again. I also want to wish everyone a very early, a Good Friday today, and a happy Easter this Sunday for those who celebrate Easter, and a late happy Passover, which is ending very soon. If you celebrate Passover, hope you had a good Passover this week as well. It was opening day at Keeneland. Hopefully you had success today. Keeneland, Wesley Ward lost his 2 baby races in the first and third race, shockingly, but then he made up for it by winning stake races later. He ended up having a good day. It was very cold at Keeneland, but it was sunny and beautiful, and tomorrow it's going to warm up. The turf was good yesterday at Keeneland. The dirt was fast. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow. The turf might be upgraded to firm. We'll see, but it's in beautiful condition. We're going to go pretty quickly through the pick 5 sequence at Keeneland tonight. Now, the pick 5 sequence starts to 50-cent increment, of course. It starts in race 7 at Keeneland tomorrow, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, the last race, race 11, is the Bluegrass. We did a deep dive into the Bluegrass last night on my show, episode 23, the preview show for the Kentucky Derby prep races. So I'm not going to go as deep into the Bluegrass tonight. If you'd like to see the extremely deep dive that we took into the Bluegrass, the last race of the pick 5, please go to my channel, which you're already on if you're watching live. And you're also on if you're watching the replay, of course. Go to episode 23 and you can see the deep dive into the Bluegrass Stakes. All right, so as I look to my left, let's go ahead and just jump right in to the pick 5 sequence. Again, starts in race 7. I'm going to show you my ABC ticket. I'm also going to show you my caveman ticket at the end of the show here. Again, those of you who are watching, thank you once again. Please make sure you uh, type in the chat on the right side of the screen. And if you're going to watch a replay of this, whether it be later tonight on Friday or tomorrow, Saturday, before the Pick 5 starts, please make sure you comment down below the video player. All right, let's jump right in. So, the first race of the Pick 5 is a 7 furlong Grade 3 Commonwealth Stakes for 4-year-old and up. These are older males, and this sequence starts at 4:25 Eastern time. 4:25 approximately Eastern time. The Pick 5 starts. We're going to quickly roll through the horses here in the Commonwealth. You got Flagstaff in the rail, 8-5. Hidden Scroll, a name that everyone probably knows. He's had a very interesting career, 5-2 for Giroux and Cox. You got Bango, 10-1 for Greg Foley. Special Reserve, 12-1 Michael Maker. Attachment Rate, 5-1 Dale Romans. Mucho, 8-1 for John Ortiz and Castellano. And Hog Creek Hustle, Vicky Foley, Corey Lannery. Let me start right off with my A horses in this sequence. I have talked about Flagstaff quite a bit on this show because I'm usually against Flagstaff. I have to be honest. He is 14 for 17 in the money, but he's a 7-year-old. He's had some issues in his career. He ran just fine last time. We're not going to watch a lot of replays tonight on the show. He ran just fine, but he lost to CZ Rock and Whitmore. No real shame there. I think he might be better at this point of his career going 7. He's also taken the blinkers off. Now, last time he had the blinkers on for the first time, I believe in his career. I could go back and look, but for the first time in a long time. Now they're taking the blinkers off. I think they're going to want to have him a little bit off the pace this time. They were trying to put speed into him last time. I wouldn't say it didn't work, but he didn't get the job done at 2-1. I like him tomorrow. He's one of my A's. This is a class drop. This is not the kind of field that he faced last time. I see no reason why Flagstaff cannot win. He's one of my A's. But my top choice in this race is going to be in the number 5, Attachment Rate. Now, a little bit slower on Figs, but there's a few things I like about Attachment Rate. First of all, he's only a 4-year-old. When he was a 3-year-old, he was pretty much a dead closer. He closed it pretty deep. But if you look at his PPs recently, he's getting a little bit more speed into him, which I like. You see on October 29th, he was up close to a pace, although it was relatively slow. Last time he was pretty far back, but it was a fast pace, and that was going a mile. I'm hoping that Luis Saez, who's pretty aggressive, gets this horse a little bit into the race. Today's track, by the way, was a bit speed favoring, I'd say. It wasn't pure speed, but it was a bit speed favoring. However, there was a pretty healthy wind, a tailwind in the backstretch, and a headwind in the home stretch, which usually does help closers. I don't think that's going to be the situation tomorrow with the wind condition, which does matter a little bit, in my opinion. Anyway, I think attachment rate's getting better. There is a decent amount of speed in this race. I think he's going to get a mid-pack trip. I like attachment rate. He's also one of my A's. As B's, Hidden Scroll. What do you do with Hidden Scroll? This horse has just had a crazy career. I mean, he won his debut by 14, and then they put him on the Triple Crown trail, and he's had issues for Bill Mott. Brad Cox took over the training last time, and he won in the mud. And he certainly he studied. He had some issues. Again, we're not going to watch the replay. He ran well, but he's got to improve. He only got a 90 buyer. This is a much tougher field. I don't know if he's going to go to the lead or not. He's just a big enigma. You don't really know what's going to happen with him. I don't trust him fully on top. He obviously can win. I'm using him as a B. Another horse I think is a little bit interesting is the 4, Special Reserve. I talked about Special Reserve a little bit last time. If you go back and find my show when we previewed the Rebel, I don't know the episode number. I'm sorry, you have to go back and look at it. But it was the the preview show for the Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn, this horse, Special Reserve, was, I believe, in the first race of the Pick 5 that day. And I thought he was interesting for Michael Maker. He was off a claim. And boy, was he impressive. He he went to the lead. It was a good allowance field. He won by 2. I just wanted you to notice that in third there, Ancient Warrior finished in third in that race against Special Reserve, who won. And if you just look back, when Hidden Scroll won, you see there's Ancient Warrior again, who finished in third. So, it's hard to use the transitive property that one horse is just as good as another just because they beat the same horse. I don't think Hidden Reserve is out of this race at all. I think it's possible that he gets the lead again. I have a lot of respect for Michael Maker. He's got to go 7. This is a tall ask. He's gonna have to go a further distance. But if this horse gets on the lead again, he could improve again. He could be dangerous. I'm using Special Reserve as a B in case he gets loose. The other horse I'm going to use in this race, I'm going to use Hog Creek Hustle as a C horse. I used to be a fan of this horse, but he just comes from usually pretty far back. They've gotten some more speed into him recently. The problem here with me and Hog Creek Hustle is Vicky Oliver, the trainer on Hog Creek Hustle, is 0 for 16 off this kind of layoff. Again, 0 for 16 Hog Creek Hustle, um, off of a 2 to 6 month layoff the last 3 years. Vicky Oliver, not the horse, but Vicky Oliver is 0 for 16 off a 2 to 6 month layoff over the last 3 years. That's something that I cannot ignore. So I'm only using Hog Creek Hustle as a C. I see Chris Mack has joined this show again. Thank you. He liked Akeem Olajuwon, I believe, in the Santa Anita Derby. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, he mentioned the Dream Shake from Akeem Olajuwon. So, Chris, thanks for joining. He wants to know if Hidden Scroll is the K-Nix Go 2.0 sprint version. I don't know. Brad Cox can definitely resurrect him, but he's going to have to win a big race for me to use him as an A. Obviously, he can win. I actually think he's going to be higher than 5 to 2 also, Chris, in my opinion. A few other stats I want to mention here. I have one reservation with Flagstaff. He's coming only off a 3-week layoff. He has never come off this short a layoff in his career. I'm not talking about Sadler. I'm talking about the horse Flagstaff. Has never been this short a layoff, 3 weeks. That is a bit concerning to me. I just wanted to mention that. Another horse I want to mention with the stat, Bango, who can show speed. He's another horse that's sort of an all or nothing type. I think he could be a pace factor, and he would help my top pick attachment rate if he goes. Just to let you know, Bango, who has 5 wins and 14 starts, Bango in 6 starts at Churchill has 4 wins, a second and a third. This horse is fantastic at Churchill. I'm talking about Bango now. Outside of Churchill, in 10 starts, Bango has 1 win, 0 places, and 0 shows. Again, Bango in 10 starts outside of Churchill only has 1 win, no seconds, no thirds. This is clearly a horse for course, Bango. Again, I would never use this horse anywhere outside of Churchill right now. But at times, he has shown quite a bit of speed, and he might be a pace factor. So again, you don't have to write this down. I'll show you the ticket on. My top choices are Flagstaff and attachment rate, the 1 and the 5. I like attachment rate the most, though, in this race to mow down the speed at 5 to 1 for Louis Size. Again, any comments, feel free um, down below. Excuse me, if you're live, of course, in the chat on the right side, comments down below the video player if you're watching this as a replay. I will say one thing about this pick 5 sequence. The stake races are unbelievable. Some of these races are not, don't have huge fields. I'm slightly disappointed by that. Listen, it's Keeneland. They've got great stake races all over the place. Some of these fields are relatively short. I wouldn't just like spread a lot in these short fields because you're not going to get the value that you want. You're not going to make the money that you want if you play this pick 5. I think some of these shorter fields, you're going to have to take some stands because, again, the field sizes are not that big in some of these races in the pick 5. All right, let's go ahead to race 8 at Keeneland. This is going to be the second race of the pick 5 sequence. And oh boy, Oh boy, what a race this is. We talked to this about this race a little bit on the show last night. This is the Grade 2 Shakertown Stakes. It's on the turf, 5.5 furlong sprint, older males, $200,000 purse. I love this race. I'm not a fan of turf sprints in general, but every time this race comes up on opening weekend at Keeneland, it's always a huge field. There's usually a lot of betting options. This race is no different. And something I mentioned on Twitter earlier this week when the entries came out, and I mentioned it last night. This race, as of right now, has 13 horses in it. Who knows if there's going to be scratches? Probably not very many. Nine. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 of the 13 horses in this race want the lead or very close to the lead. But here's the bizarre thing. The best horses in this race are horses that want to be up close. Could not find a horse that really likes to come from far back of any real quality in this race. That makes this handicapping scenario very, very interesting. I'm going to roll through this field very quickly. Again, it's a big field, and I just want to let you know I'm spreading pretty deep in this race for the pick five. You got Smart Remark from the inside, one of the rare closers in this race, but he looks awfully slow right now. For Vicky Oliver, 30 to 1. Imprimis has almost won $825,000. Joe Orsino, 7 to 2 for Paco Lopez. Chessmaster, huge price at 50 to 1. You have Hollis, another speed horse, 15 to 1 for John Ortiz. Turned aside for Mark Cassidy, Chris Landeros, 6 to 1. Ready for prime time, Eric Heltzman, 15 to 1 for a very underrated jockey in the Midwest, Mitchell Murrell. Kanthaka off a layoff of Graham Motion, 6 to 1, and Javier Castellano. The 8, another 50 to 1 shot, morning line, the old D. Wayne Lucas, the old pro. He's still at it with Drayden Van Dyke aboard. Interesting. But he's 50 to 1 in this race. You have Just Might, a pure speedball for Michelle Lovell and CJ Hernandez, 12 to 1 morning line. Another 50 to 1, Johnny Unleashed for Eric Foster and Corrales. High Crime, more speed, Darren Miller, Julian Leperoux, 8 to 1. Critical Way, guess what? More speed, Jose Delgado, 9 to 2 for Saez. And then Wesley Ward, who had a big day today, not with his 2-year-olds, but with his older with horses today. Joel Rosario from the far outside, the morning line favorite at 3 to 1, coming off a layoff, has not raced since last summer. Let me go right to my top choices in this race. Again, I'm sorry for scrolling quickly here. So, my top choice in this race, actually, let me go to my A's. These are in no particular order, but I will give you my top choice here. JS, before I even started my comments, said, bet the speed of the speed. I think it's hard to say who the speed of the speed is going to be in this race, JS. In fact, if there was like a side wager on who's going to have the lead after the first quarter, that'd be a great side wager. Let me tell you, it's going to be sub 22. Even if the turf is still not quite as firm as it normally is, this is going to be 21 and 1 or 21 and 2. This is going to be something crazy unless an extremely bizarre situation occurs. Brand, you said the sound is clipping. I checked the sound. I didn't have any issues before. I'm not sure if that's on your end or my end. I apologize. So I guess JS and Chris Mack. I know I'm a little behind the chat. So Chris Mack and JS, if you also, if it sounds like there are sound issues on your end, please let me know also. But everything seems to be fine for me, Brendan. Anyway, an A for me. Imprimis is one of my A's. I don't think he's a 5 furlong horse anymore. He's not quite as fast as he used to be, but he's still very good. I think, okay, JS said the sound is good. Thank you, JS. I appreciate that. Brendan, you might want to check your computer or whatever device you're working on, or headphones or whatnot. Imprimis, I think, is better going 5.5, and I think he's going to be better on this turf course that's not quite as rock hard as Gulfstream. I don't have too much to say. This horse just seems to get into a lot of trouble all the time. And what's also weird about this horse is he always seems to draw inside. I almost think this horse would be better drawing outside and losing a little bit of ground and just running in the clear. This is a huge field. Again, he's on the inside. And again, in this case, Paco Lopez is going to have to find a way to, come through. So if you like Imprimis, he's going to need some racing luck just because this horse always seems to find trouble from the inside. But he's very talented. He can obviously win the race, in my opinion. My top choice, let's just get right to it. My top choice is Turn Decide. Turn Decide is 6-1. I think this horse has a lot of talent. First of all, he's only a 4-year-old, so I like his upside. He was trained before by Linda Rice, who's a fantastic trainer, especially with turf sprinters. Now he goes to Mark Casse. Um, I consider that a small upgrade. As good as Linda is on the turf, I think Mark Casse is one of the best trainers in North America. So that's not really why I like this horse. What I like about this horse is twofold. First of all, he's second off a layoff. I'm expecting a big improvement. Number two, he does not have to have the lead. I think this horse is best just off the lead, and that is the kind of trip I think he's getting. When you look at his PPs, he's really only run one big race, that 102 at Aqueduct there in last November. And other than that, you might say he's a little bit slow, and he might be. But I like his upside. I like the trip he's going to get. I think he's going to appreciate the 5.5. This horse has mainly been running 6. So a lot of these horses are more like 5 furlong specialists, maybe 5.5 on fast, hard ground. I think the 5.5 at Keeneland is going to hit this horse right between the eyes. I like Turn Decide in this race. He's one of my A's. The other A that I like in this race is Kanthaka, the 7. Someone last night on the show said this was my top choice. I'd call him my A minus. I mean, he's my 1A. I like Turn Aside first, and I like Kanthaka as my second choice in this race. Now, his numbers are a little bit better than Turn Aside. However, he has not run since October of last year. But that's not a big concern. If you look at his PPs, he was off more than a year when he ran in the Jaipur and almost ran down Alexandra, who was a very good sprinting mare at the time. She's tailed off a little bit recently, but he ran his career top off a year layoff. So I'm not as concerned about the layoff, although he's now a year older. Now he's 6. You don't know how that's going to happen, but he is the best horse in this race in terms of someone that I think can come from a little further back in the pack. I'm assuming he's ready. I like Castellano in this spot. I'm using Kanthaka also as my A. So Imprimis, Turn Aside, Kanthaka are my A's. Now, I have to use some speed in this race just because you don't really know who's going to break, who's not. One of my B horses is Just Might. He's very good. He's very consistent. He's got a lot of speed. The issue in terms of him being an A is there's going to be horses pressing down from on him from a higher post draw, and this horse is on the inside. So I'm not sure what kind of trip he's going to get. If he happens to get a good trip, I think he's got a big shot. I'm not taking this 101 buyer into account very much in his last race. That race was scratched off the turf. It was on the dirt. There's not as much speed in that race, and he easily won by 5. Although it is worth mentioning, look who he beat. He beat Extravagant Kid. Who's Extravagant Kid? Extravagant Kid just won $1 million race in Dubai last weekend. But this last race, like I said, was on the dirt, and Extravagant Kid is better on the turf. But I'm using Just Might as a B horse. I'm also going to use the 11 High Crime as a B. I think this horse is getting better for Darren Miller. Julien Leparoux just won his 500th career win today at Keeneland. Congratulations to Julien Leparoux, who took some heat on the show last week. I think this horse is also on the improve. And I know what you might be thinking. You don't want to be too far outside because you might be hung wide. In my mind, when there's a lot of speed in this race, you're best off being drawn further outside because if you're on the inside and you don't break absolutely perfectly, you're going to get shuffled back. If you're on the outside and you don't break exactly perfectly, you can still rush up a little bit, look to your left, and maybe tuck in somewhere. So I like High Crime as a B in this race. And I'm also going to use Bound for Nowhere. I just couldn't use this horse as an A. This is a 7-year-old off a year layoff. Now he's come off layoffs before. This is a very ouchy horse. I like to say he's only had 14 starts and as a 7-year-old. Obviously, this horse can win, but this is a far outside post. You would think this horse is probably going to be wide. I know that might be counterintuitive to just what I said, but being in the 9 and 10 hole is not the same as like the 13 hole. So this horse is going to have to work out some kind of trip. I'm sure he can, but it's another long layoff, and I'm using Bound for Nowhere as a B in this race, fully recognizing that he obviously can win. As C's, I am going to use some C's. As seahorses, I'm going to use the 4, Hollis. Probably can't win, but look, he's got a 94 and a 96, including one on yielding turf. This horse can obviously run, and he's in good shape. Why can't he find a way to get the trip and win this race at a price? I don't think it's impossible. He's a C for me. Ready for prime time for Mitchell Murrell. Now, this is a horse that's going off of Brad Cox, not an angle I like, obviously, but I'm going to use Ready for Prime Time as a C just in case. And also, I'll use the 12 Critical Way. Now, why am I not using him higher? Again, he's got a very outside post. This horse looks like an all or nothing type, like for sure. Some of these horses maybe can rate a little bit. I don't see any rate in this horse at all. And the other thing, he's been winning going 5 furlongs at Tampa and Gulfstream, two extremely hard, fast, speed favoring turf courses. That is not what he's going to face at Keeneland. So I do not like Critical Wave very much, but I'll use him as a C just in case um, in this race. So I'm spreading very much in this race. Again, this race is absolutely wide open. It's a fantastic edition of the Shaker Town, but I like Turn Aside the 5 and the 7 Kanthaka the most. I'll also use Imprimis as an A in this race. JS, he's just tossing Imprimis on the chat. He's like, Imprimis trouble prone. Forget it. He is, but one of these times, I mean, if he finds room, he could have won a lot of these other races. So I'm going to use him as an A because one of these times he's going to find a way through, and he's definitely talented enough to win the race. Let's go on to race 9 on the card. Race 9, the third leg of the sequence, is the Grade 1 Ashland. This is for restricted 3-year-old fillies. This is a prep for the Kentucky Oaks, a very important race in terms of points. They're going a mile and a 16th for $400,000 on the dirt. This is a pretty small field. I'll run through it. You have Curlin's Catch, 8-1 for Mark Casse. Past the Champagne, very interesting horse, 4-1, George Weaver. Simply Ravishing, finished 4th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year, coming off a layoff for Ken McPeak. Moon Swag, 10-1, Brendan Walsh. Todd Pletcher, the favorites. Malathot, undefeated, 3 for 3, Joel Rosario. And the 6, Will Secret, 7-2 for Dallas Stewart and John Court. The wily veteran John Court has the mount. I have a pretty strong opinion in this race. Of course, for my sake, I hope it's going to be correct. Let me tell you about my strong opinion here. My strong opinion is that I'm a little bit against the 5 Malathot. Now, Malathot is very talented. There's no question about it. She is undefeated. She won the Grade 2 Demoiselle last year over a horse called Milfoy, who came in second in the Gulfstream Oaks last weekend. Here's what I don't like. I'm not sure the horses she has beaten are anything special. I thought Milfoy would be better. I liked her last week. She has not come back very strong this year as a 2-year-old. Does that mean Malathot won't come back strong? No. I don't like the fact, if you look at the workouts here, Malathot had a workout on January 30th, was supposed to have a prep before this race, and had a little issue. It wasn't a major issue, but it was enough where you can see she was off training for an entire month. So she did not, I shouldn't say she was off training for a month, but she didn't show a published work for another month. Since then, she's been working steadily. Obviously, this horse can win, but I think she's got some questions to answer, and I would not take her at a short price as an A here. So I'm going to go ahead and use Malathat as a B. But full disclosure for everyone watching, obviously this horse can win. But again, it's a 6-horse field. There's only so many A horses I want to use in this race, and I'm just hoping that Malathat is not quite ready for this start. We'll see what happens. My two A's in this race. Pass the Champagne. Now, Pass the Champagne was a new acquisition last time for black type thoroughbreds. Uh, Jake Ballas is a part of it. And if you like watching the In the Money Media podcast, Jonathan Kitchen, who's, of course, on the Fox broadcast for horse racing, a lot of people know JK. I had a chance to meet him. Great guy. Is friends with Jake Ballas. I know he's going to be at Keeneland tomorrow cheering this horse on. He was in the winner's circle when they won at Gulfstream last time. So if you like Jonathan Kitchen, you're a fan of his, you're in cheer for this horse because you'll see him in the winner's circle if they win on Saturday. But anyway, George Weaver only had this horse for about a week or so, I believe, before that last race. She ran huge. Now, I know it was just a maiden race, but let me just show you something here. Uh, the horse that came in second in that race that Passed the Champagne beat was another woman. Another woman came back to break her maiden with a 77. So that was a live race. She ran Passed the Champagne, ran a very fast race. She is definitely live here. And here's what I like about Passed the Champagne. I know it's a big ask, but she's bred to go 2 turns. And here's the other thing. She is catching the two most talented horses in this race, supposedly, are the two morning line favorites off a layoff. This horse has recency. I think that is extremely important in this race. I expect her to show some speed or stalk. I think she's talented. I also heard that Jonathan Kitchen has a big future bet on this horse. It's got to be a very big price. I don't know what it is in the Oaks. So this horse has to finish first or second in this race to get to the Kentucky Oaks a month from now. So they're going to empty the tank on this horse if they have to try to get into the Kentucky Oaks. Pass the Champagne is an A for me. I see Jim is joining the chat tonight and the live stream. Jim, thank you very much. Right. So he points out the mouth I was supposed to run in the Gulfstream Park Oaks last week. Also, I believe I heard that. I think that is correct, Jim. But really, the bigger issue, I mean, she was ready to run in that race or this race. But the bigger issue is that she had a minor physical ailment earlier this year, and that's why she's only debuting now. And Jim also points out that Past Champagne was a private purchase for $800,000 after the maiden loss. So yeah, this horse is very well met. The other A I'm using is Simply Ravishing. Now, I know what you're thinking, Howard. This horse is also coming off a layoff. Why do you like Simply Ravishing, and why do you not like Malathat? 2 reasons. First of all, I like the fact that Simply Ravishing has raced 2 races over the track. Both of them were very good. I like that. Number one. Number two, Ken McPeak has said all along that they were pointing to this race. She has not missed any time training. McPeak said she's ready. I'm sure Malathat's probably ready too. Like I said, I could be wrong, but it just seems to me that Simply Ravishing is a little more ready in the spot, possibly than Malathat. Not only that, Simply Ravishing is fast early, faster than Malathat, and it's very possible that Simply Ravishing might wire this field. There's not a ton of speed in this race. I'm using Simply Ravishing as another A. And the only horse I have as a C is Curlin's Catch. I think this horse might close. I really don't even have to use Curlin's Catch at all. This is pretty much a 3-horse race. But I like the Suncoast that she ran 2 starts back where she closed. She was in a much too fast a pace last time against Whole Buddy Meister in the Devonadale. I think Landeros is going to take back here from Mark Cassidy and make one run. And if this thing falls apart, I don't think she's absolutely impossible. I love the breeding. This is this is a horse by Curlin out of an AP Indy mare. Catch the thrill, Brendan. How did I do? By Curlin out of an AP Indy mare. catch the thrill. Brendan knows why I'm laughing about that. It's an inside joke. We could talk about that later. Anyway, that is my position. I'm not going to use Moon Swag. She's too slow. I don't like Will's Secret. I think she's too slow, although she's in very good form. I just don't think she's going to beat these other girls. You could use Will's Secret, I suppose, as a C if you wanted to. That's my take of the third leg of the sequence. So we are through 3 legs of this sequence. Again, comment down below if you're watching replay. Please comment in the chat. Brendan, thanks for the thumbs up. He said I did great with my wording there on the sires and dams, etc. Let's go on to the 4th leg of this fantastic pick 5 sequence at Keeneland on opening weekend tomorrow, April 3rd. So the next race is another grade 1. This is the grade 1 Madison. This is for filly and mares. They're going 7 furlongs on the dirt for older filly and mares. $300,000 is the purse. Again, this is a relatively small field, once again, but a very, very talented field. And let me say this. I'm going to put myself on camera because I want to emphasize this. Ladies and gentlemen, my play of the day. You know I go out on limbs, folks. I'm not going to, I don't pull any punches. I'm a straight shooter. I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I don't know what kind of price you're getting on this horse, but I think you're going to get a decent price. My play of the day is in the Madison, and she is not going to be the favorite in this race. We'll talk about the play of the day here in just a second. Let's go through the field for the Grade 1 Madison. You have, I believe it's pronounced Shanus. I apologize if I butchered that name. This horse, sorry, 1 second. I got to make an adjustment here with the screen. This is the one, Shanus, 6-1. Michael McCarthy for Javier Castellano coming in from the West Coast. Actually, was racing in the Midwest, but last time was out on the West Coast. You have the 2, Estillo Talentoso. This horse is 20-1 for Castanon. Monday Call, a horse for Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, 8-1. Bell's the 1, the early morning line favorite, very talented horse for Neil Pessin, Corey Lannery, 2-1. Kamari, Wesley Ward, 5-2, Joel Rosario, and Sconsin, not Wisconsin, but Sconsin, Greg Foley, James Graham, 3-1. So, Jim, how'd you know Jim? I'll tell you what. Jim is an excellent handicapper. If you want to know who Jim is, folks, Jim is on the chat. For those of you that are on the chat, it says Carolyn on there, but he uses his wife's, I think, YouTube account or whatever. But when you see Carolyn on there, that's Jim. Jim, you are exactly right, sir. Monday Call. Nice job, Jim. Monday Call is my play of the day at Keeneland tomorrow. I don't know if we're getting 8-1, but you allow me to talk about Monday Call for just a little bit here. Monday Call is a very fast filly for OXO Equine. Now, she didn't start off her career fantastically. As a 2-year-old, they did put her in the spinaway. It was a very fast pace, a total disaster. But she had a nice 3-year-old year. Her first 2 races, her 3-year-old year last year, were absolutely outstanding. An 88 buyer, and then in the Audubon Oaks at Ellis, she completely freaked. Went 108 and 4 to the 3, 121 flat, just below 121 and 1, won by 7 against some pretty good horses, including Sconsin, geared down. And I thought that was the beginning of what was going to be a superstar career and year for her. And she might still have, of course, a very good career. Now, the 8 Bells. I don't want to talk about the 8 Bells very much because the 8 Bells was extremely frustrating to me. I had 2 horses in that race and a big pick 5. That was on Derby Day, I think, if I recall. And it might have been the Friday before. It might have been Oaks Day. But anyway, it was Derby weekend last fall. And all I wanted was Giroux and Leperoux, who was on I believe he was on 4 races that day, not to get in a crazy speed duel. There were 2 speeds in the race, and for some reason they went on some kind of macho speed duel. They went 44 to the half. I was so aggravated at the half. I knew I was in trouble. Sconson came from behind and won, knocked me out of a big pick 4 or 5. I think it was a pick 5. I was very frustrated, but I don't hold grudges because look, I'm back on Monday call. Now, what happened last time? Pimlico is a funny track. A lot of horses don't take to Pimlico. She was a huge favorite in that race. She didn't break great. She ran horribly. I'm just tossing that race out completely from Monday call. I think she expended a lot of energy in her 3 races leading up to that. I think you weren't getting the best of Monday call, and I don't think she liked the track. I'm completely tossing that out. In this race, when you look down the PPs, so the one, Shanias, is not a major speed horse. She can be up close, but I highly doubt that this horse is going to have the lead. I just don't think she's as fast as Monday Call. The 2 is not fast, will not be a factor early. Obviously, Monday Call with a 119 early time form, to me, is by far, if she breaks, the fastest horse early in this race. I think she's going to have the lead. Bell's the 1 as a closer. Kamari is really more mid-pack. This is not a speed horse for Leslie Ward. This is really more of a closer. At least she has been in most of her starts. And Sconson is a closer. So to me, if Monday Call breaks, and I want Drew to be very aggressive here, I'm hoping Brad Cox has Monday Call ready. I think she can get the 7. There's a lot of horses coming off a layoff, as she is, but I trust Brad Cox. I trust Drew. Floron, just go. All I want to see this horse is break from the gate well and just get the lead. If she's not good enough, she's not good enough. We're not getting 8-1. I think it's gonna be more like 5-1, 6-1. I like Monday Call. One of my prices of the day. She's an A for me. The other A I'm going to use in this race is Bell's the 1. She's very talented. I like Bell's the 1 quite a bit as a horse. By the way, I didn't mention Brad Cox on Monday Call is 2 for 7 off a 2 to 6 month layoff with Grade 1 dirt races. So again, 2 for 7 off a layoff in Grade 1 dirt races. He can definitely get a horse ready. I don't have a huge concern about this horse being ready. In fact, I think the time off is going to work to Monday Call's benefit. Hopefully, she's matured and gotten stronger. Anyway, Bell's the 1 I like quite a bit. She's very honest. She's the best closer in this race. She's going to be a factor. She'll be coming from late. She is my other A horse. I'm going to use Kamari as a B. Now, why is Kamari not an A? One advantage Kamari does have is recency. So Kamari does have recency. I will say that is definitely an advantage to her. But look very carefully at Kamari's races. She's been on turf 6 times, run very well. What about her dirt races? Her dirt races, as you can see, she's 3 for 3. So again, why am I using this horse as a B and not an A? Her 2 best dirt races, in my opinion, were both in the slop, and they were both at Oaklawn, the Spring Fever and the Purple Mountain. This is a much, much tougher field. In fact, this is definitely other than the race probably at Ascot, obviously. This is the toughest field that Kamari's ever faced on dirt. I feel very confident in saying that. And I think it's very possible that Kamari is better when it's wet. Now, she broke her maiden as a 2-year-old, and I think that was track record time, if I recall. But she beat absolutely nobody in that race when the 4.5 furlong. Listen, she was extremely impressive. I might be nitpicking here. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm hoping Kamari is just a little bit better on wet, and I'm also hoping that she doesn't quite class up to these girls, but she can obviously win. Again, I'm not going to play 3 A's in a 6-horse field, but so I'm going to go Kamari as a B. You have to make some decisions, folks, somewhere. As C horses, I will use the 1 who took advantage of an extremely good pace situation when Hard Not to Love. Let me just go back and look at that race so I can recall. Uh, it was Hard Not to Love and Fighting Mad, who were the 2 favorites, completely went at it. 23-1, 46-1 when the track was not too fast. And the one just and Shayna's just saw it sat an absolutely perfect trip and upset the field, and she got a 93 buyer. So everything worked in her favor. If you look at the races before that, I don't quite think she classes up, but I'm going to use the one as a C in this spot. And I'm also going to go ahead and use Wisconsin as a C in this spot. And mainly Wisconsin, I just think Bell's the one is the better closer, first of all. And secondly, I'm not sure the pace is going to work out for Wisconsin. I might upgrade Wisconsin to a B. We'll see. She's a nice horse also. I like Bell's the one better. That is my take of the Madison, a very interesting race again. I like Monday Call quite a bit at a price. I'm hoping this horse is ready, that Drew just goes. He can be very aggressive with dirt horses. I think she's the fastest. Actually, I'm almost positive she's the fastest early when she breaks. I hope she's ready and wires the field at like 5-1, and that'll make me very happy in the sequence. Again, tell me what you think on the chat there over on the right side of the screen over here, and also uh, on the below the video player with your comments. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go very deeply in the bluegrass. Again, if you want to see my opinions on the bluegrass and hear my opinions in more detail than tonight, go watch last night's show, episode 23, where we talked about the bluegrass in quite detail. But let's go ahead to the main event of the day. Not a grade one, actually, but the grade two. $800,000 Bluegrass Stakes, Kentucky Derby prep, 100 points to the winner. Second place horse gets 40. They're going a mile and eighth. There's one horse in this race that is a clear standout. I talked about this race last night. Here's the field again quickly. Hidden Stash is the 1, 20-1. Untreated, the 2 for Todd Pletcher. Highly Motivated, the second choice, Chad Brown, the 3. The 4, Essential Quality, 3-5. The Kentucky Derby favorite as of right now, undefeated, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year, a two-time Grade 1 winner, won the Southwest last time in the slop, first time out. Louis Saez, 3-5, and I think she'll be lower tomorrow. Rombauer, 15-1, Michael McCarthy. LeBlanc, 50-1, Paul Lobo. Hush of a Storm for Bill Morey, coming from Turfway Park. For Gonzalez, 15-1. Sitting on Go, Dale Romans, 30-1. Corey Lannery. Keep Me in Mind, Robertino Diodoro. I tried to get fancy and messed it up. Sorry, Mr. Diodoro. David Cohen, 8-1 is Keep Me in Mind. So again, I'm not going to go talk very long about this race. I think Essential Quality is going to be very tough to beat. He's my lone A in this race. I don't even have a B in this race. The only concern I have with Essential Quality is there's not a lot of speed in the race. Now, he is not a closer, okay? He's not like a dead closer. He closed him pretty far back in the juvenile, but that was a supersonic pace. Last time he was a lot more tactical. I expect Saez to axe this horse a little bit out of the gate. I'm almost positive, highly motivated, the 3 is going to be on the lead, just because I don't see who else would be on the lead unless the 2 untreated sends out hard. So I think highly motivated is probably going to have the lead here, and my prediction is Essential Quality just sits right off of highly motivated and goes by him in the stretch relatively easily. Again, this is a very talented horse, a huge threat in the Kentucky Derby. Essential Quality is a lone A. I see Dean is joining the show again tonight. Thank you, Dean. The question that Dean is asking on the chat, does Essential Quality have enough points for the Derby already, or does he need a placing in the Bluegrass? No. Essential Quality is already in, Dean. I think he's actually the point leader. Actually, no, he's probably not the point leader as of this very moment because there's been some big 100-point races that have already run, but he might be the point leader. It doesn't matter. Essential Quality is already in. He does not need to, come in first, second, or third in this race to go to the Derby. If that's an angle for you or someone else watching saying, well, they might not use him very much because he doesn't need this race to win, okay, that's a fair statement. But they still need to keep this horse in shape, and I don't think they're going to tank this horse or anything. So I think they're going to be aggressive. It's a grade 2. It's the bluegrass. I see no reason why they're not going to ask this horse to run. The interesting horse I like in this race is Untreated. I talked about Untreated a lot last night. I don't want to revisit everything I said last night. Again, watch episode 23 on my YouTube channel. Untreated was a new acquisition for Todd Pletcher last time, and Team Valor ran a fantastic maiden breaking race at Tampa. Not all big wins and maidens are the same. This horse has got a big stride. He did it very professionally. He got a big number. I'm expecting another forward move. I think they're going to be aggressive with this horse out of the gate. At least I hope so. I think he's going to sit right off of Highly Motivated and Essential Quality. I think he'll probably be in third. And I really like this horse's upside. I don't think he can win, but I am playing a big exacta tomorrow. Unless Untreated gets pounded for some reason and the exacta is not worth it. But I'm playing a big 4-2 exacta tomorrow in the bluegrass as my main play vertically. My other seahorse in this race is Highly Motivated. I talked about Highly Motivated quite a bit last night. I see Tom has joined. Tom's thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. By the way, Tom, and if you want to chat this, Tom, but Tom has been red hot on the Matt Bernier show in terms of picking winners. I think he had the winner last week in a race that I think the Friday feature was Tampa. Or was it 2 weeks ago? It was a turf race at Tampa. I forgot to put my pick in. But anyway, Tom, if that was you, congratulations for the wins that you're having right now in the contest on the Matt Bernier show. And thanks for watching tonight. I'm dubious of Highly Motivated's distance. I'm not sure he wants the distance. And I talked about last night, from a vertical standpoint, there is no reason whatsoever to play Essential Quality on top and then Highly Motivated in second in a try or an exacta. It's not going to pay anything. I don't like the value. Can Highly Motivated beat Essential Quality? I personally don't think so. The only chance Highly Motivated has, in my opinion, is to get the lead, walk the dog, and win that way. That is possible, I suppose. I'm using him as a C, but I think Highly Motivated is bred to go shorter. I'm not sure a mile and an eighth is what this horse wants to do. So I'm a little bit against Highly Motivated on the win end and even a little bit on the place end, although obviously this is a very talented horse, and I love Highly Motivated going shorter in sprint races coming up this summer. So again, Essential Quality, Lone A. I'm using the 2 and the 3 untreated as C's. Richard, thank you again for the compliment. He said the presentation is getting better. I'm working on my transitions and all the technology. Maybe sometime I'll show you the view from behind me. I don't have, again, this I'm doing the solo, guys. So I'm the host, I'm the producer, I'm the editor. I'm pressing a lot of buttons behind the scenes that you don't see. So Richard, I really do appreciate that. Some of these other shows that have fancy graphics and music and whatnot, they have people working behind the scenes on their shows. This is just me. Hopefully, we can keep getting bigger and better. Howard's Horse Handicapping can maybe get some sponsorship, and I can, have some more fancy graphics and people working for me. But thanks, Richard. I appreciate the compliment. I continue to work on the presentation every time I'm on. So I want to keep the show to an hour tonight. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you now my ABC Pick 5 ticket. So let's go right to the ABC Pick 5 ticket at Keeneland tomorrow. It's very affordable. Now, I say very affordable. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone that is a smaller player. You obviously don't have to play this ticket. You might completely disagree with this ticket. You can play a lot smaller ticket. This is an ABC ticket for 147. Again, if you're not familiar with the ABC method, the A's are my top choices, B's are second top choices, C's are my last choices. I use the ABC ticket maker method developed by Steve Christ. I use DRF, Daily Racing Form, for that. All you have to do is put the numbers in, and DRF will put the ticket together for you. I can't remember how many tickets this is. It's like I don't know, it's going to be close to like 20 separate tickets, just to let you know. Um, so anyway, there you see it. It's 147. I'm obviously leaning on the end on essential quality. Ladies and gentlemen, this is basically a glorified pick four. So you're going to have to find some prices somewhere. That's why, if you're wondering why Kamari is a B, why do I have Malathot as a B? I have some longer prices as A's, and one of the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, is because you have to find some value in this sequence because the field sizes are a little bit smaller in some of these races. And if you think essential quality is unbeatable in the bluegrass, which I don't know about unbeatable, let me grab some water here. I'm not saying essential quality is going to be 1 to 10 and can't lose. But I basically this is a glorified pick four. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this ticket and I'm going to press up. You don't see this on the screen. I'm going to press up all my A's, which is 612. It's only a $12 ticket. So I'm going to play an all A ticket probably 3 or 4 times and try to hit this pick five more than once. I might even play an all A, all B ticket one extra time, which let's see, 24 and 3, 72. That's about $100. That's gonna be too much, so I'm gonna have to modify that. But anyway, I'm gonna play multiple tickets and try to hit this more than once um, to make sure I get the value that I want. So that's my ticket for 147. That's an ABC ticket. Now let me show you the caveman ticket. And also I've got a little surprise for you. Up there it is. I've got a Santa Anita ticket for you. But my caveman ticket for tomorrow at Keeneland is 108. Again, feel free to use it. Don't use it. It's completely up to you. I'm going 4 by 6 by 3 by 3 by 1. Again, modify as you please. It's $108 with a single on the end with essential quality. So I'm basically all in on essential quality on that K-Man ticket. Use parts of it, don't use parts of it. That's up to you. But I think you can definitely get paid even with essential quality at the end because I do have a bunch of prices in that sequence. And again, if I were playing a straight caveman ticket where I'm not weighing my opinions, I'd probably play a smaller ticket pressing up and try to hit it more than once. Dean made a comment. Do I let trends or patterns influence your handicapping? Yes, I definitely do. He said the 12 in the Shakertown cannot win 2 in a row. Therefore, would you throw him out of the pick 5 for that reason? I'll go back and look at the Shakertown in a minute, Dean. Horses can win 2 in a row. I mean, I definitely look at trends and patterns, no question about it. But to me, in a stake horses are not the same. All right, if you're talking about a cheap $8,000 claiming race, those horses don't usually rattle off wins. They usually are in races where they beat each other up. Stake horses can absolutely win more than, one time. They can win twice in a row or more. Um, I'd have to look at the 12 horse. Is that the critical way? I think that's the critical way. He's very sharp right now. I don't like him because of the speed situation. But, unless there's a yin yang horse, a horse, an on off where he just runs great or she runs great, runs a bad race, runs a great race, a yo yo horse, runs a bad race. The critical way, Dean is not that kind of horse right now. So I do take trends and patterns like that into account, but I don't think the 12 horse, the critical way in the Shakertown, is a good example of that, in my opinion. But I do appreciate the question. There's my Santa Anita pick 6. Let me quickly just go back on camera and talk about Santa Anita. Whoops, I just messed that up. Sorry, hold on one second. Actually, I didn't mess up anything. There we go. So Santa Anita, the pick 6 carries over tomorrow. I think there's about 700,000 in the pool. It's not going to be their biggest pick 6 mandatory payout they've had. It's probably around, I'd say around the 3 million mark, maybe 4 million. There's a lot of other great races tomorrow and great places to play, including Aqueduct. So I don't know how big the pick 6 is going to be, but it's going to be big. Listen, it's a West Coast mandatory 20-cent pick 6 payout. There's going to be a lot of money in it. Last time, sorry, I don't mean to flip back and forth. I apologize. Last time on this show, you can go back and look it up. Look up the 20-cent pick 6. It was about a month ago. We hit it on this show for $2,000. I had the horse in the last race which was a Bob Baffert and Maine race. It paid 2,000. I think some other viewers and fans of the show cashed along with me. Hopefully, we can do it again tomorrow. I'm not going to talk in detail about the pick six because, like I said yesterday, we had a I had a poll up on Twitter on what people wanted to see tonight, and it was a pretty close vote. But the Keeneland pick five won. That's why I'm previewing the Keeneland pick five tonight. But out of respect to everyone else, I just wanted to show you my Caveman pick six. And look, real cheap, real cheap. Even a caveman can afford the caveman ticket uh, at San Anita on Saturday, if you like my opinions. Now, both these tickets, I actually did this on purpose. I'm a math teacher, I got math background. I was able to finagle it and work it out. Both these tickets are only $64.80. And I wanted to give people two choices if they like my opinions after you handicap. Or you know what? Just bet it's Stone Cold. You trust Howard Kravitz. He does a great job. Listen, I got 65 bucks to spare. I'm not even going to handicap it. I'm just going to go for it. And if I hit it, I'll thank Howard later. I don't know. No, you probably want to handicap it, and you might have some opinions completely different than me. But anyway, the first ticket is 3 by 3 by 3 by 2 by 6 by 1. I think the one on the end, the three horse on the last race, the Chosen Vron, is going to be very difficult to be in that race. So I would single him. Now, or you could use the bottom ticket. Now, the bottom ticket is something I don't normally do, but I think this sequence is interesting. The 7 in the first race is going to be a big favorite. I don't trust him. Now, let me just say that. I don't think he has to win, but he is going to be the favorite and he's the best horse. The 3 horse in leg 3. Again, I don't trust her to win, but she's clearly the best horse in that race. That is a turf graded stake race for fillies and mares. So what I've done here, and the 4th and 5th legs are, you can spread quite a bit. So the second ticket, if you have the guts to do it, I'm singling the 3 most likely winners of the sequence. And I really, by the way, like the 2 3s. I like the 3 in the third leg, and especially the 3 in the last leg the most. The 7 in the first leg is probably the horse that I think is most vulnerable in terms of horses that are going to take a lot of money in this sequence. So I would single all 3 of those likely winners just in case they happen to win. And then I've got 2 all buttons. Can we get a 30 to 1 in there and blow this thing up? It's very interesting. So the first ticket is my preferable bet because it doesn't have as many singles, and I don't think those singles have to win. And then if you want to just go for it and have some guts, again, it's only a $65 ticket. The bottom ticket has 2 all buttons, which if you can get there is great to have. And maybe you can get lucky with your singles and hit some big long shots in the pick 6 there and cash. Or of course you can play something completely different. I'm not going to go through my ABC or put it up there. But again, if you want to play the San Anita pick 6, they have a great sequence. There's unbelievable race. Tomorrow is just a fantastic. I think there's like 20 stake races tomorrow, or 16 graded and like 20 stake races when you combine Aqueduct, Keeneland, and San Anita. I mean, just unbelievable day of racing tomorrow throughout the country. Quick question from Trish and Dean, and I'm going to go ahead and end the show. If you have any other questions in the live chat, now's the time to ask because we're going to cut this show a little bit shorter tonight. Trish, am I playing the dollar pick 6 at Keeneland tomorrow? I am not. I don't play pick 6s unless there are carryovers, and I really prefer to only play the 20-cent pick 6. I have played Keeneland's dollar pick 6 before, and I've hit it a few times before, but I'd rather play the pick 5 for 50 cents. There's a huge pool in the pick 5s, and it's just what I prefer. I don't even know what the first race the pick 6 is at Keeneland, to be honest. I think it's an allowance race. I'm just scrolling through and looking because I did handicap the early part of the card. I'm not sure. I think it's an allowance race if I recall, but no, I'm not playing the pick 6 tomorrow, Keeneland. Dean asked, when you lose the first leg with pick 6, do you normally play the pick 5 or call it quits? That's a great question, Dean. I'm chuckling because that's what everyone says, right? Hey, if you don't hit the pick 6, just play the pick 5. as if everyone just has an unlimited amount of money in bankroll. The answer to that question is I usually do not. If I play pick six, I don't hit it. I don't usually play the pick five just because I like to play, bigger pick five tickets. And depending on my bankroll situation, I'm not going to play a huge pick six ticket and a big pick five ticket. But because I handicapped the sequence, Dean, if I don't hit the first race, the pick six, which is, boy, that's very depressing. But if I don't hit the first leg of the pick six, I'll probably play a smaller pick four or maybe a pick three at the end and try to press up a bunch of times. But the answer to that question, Dean, is no. I usually don't follow up with a pick five if I lose the pick six. The only situation I would do it is if I maybe single, if I play a smaller pick six ticket and I just take a stand, just single in the first leg, then I'll play the pick five if I have a smaller pick six and a bigger pick five, but I'm not going to play a big pick six and a big pick five. I don't do that. I see Jack is on. Jack, thank you very much for joining the show tonight. And I know you commented below the video player. Jack is going to try to hit that trifecta and win the contest, even though I'm pretty sure he was joking about it. Gave me a little grief about, it's only a $50 win for the contest to hit a trifecta. Sorry, Jack. Go win the contest and we can, I'll get you that, $50 and you can take your winnings. Am I trying to knock out Medina Spirit? No, Medina Spirit is not a lock, Jack. Not in my opinion at all. I don't think Medina Spirit is a lock. By the way, Roman Centurion, the one horse, is out of the Santa Anita Derby. They announced it today. Again, this show, it's 8 o'clock right now at Central Standard Time on Friday. They announced it earlier today. Roman Centurion, the one. I didn't love him, but I thought maybe he could be a factor to close and win. He's out. I think Medina Spirit does not have to win. Jack, watch my show from last night. I talked about the Santa Anita Derby in detail. Go ahead and watch. You can talk about it. Jared hit the pick five for $1. Looks like hit it twice. Collected 3,500. Congratulations. I think Jared, that would be the late pick five because I watched the races today. Did a little betting. I believe that means you hit the late pick five for twice for 3,500. Great job, Jared. Congratulations to you. Now you've got some money to play the races tomorrow. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Thank you very much for watching. I am not going to be tweeting as much tomorrow. I've got a family engagement during the day. I'll be tweeting later in the day. The early part of this pick five, I probably will not be active on Twitter. But the later part of Santa Anita and their pick six, I will definitely be tweeting out some comments. So if you're active on Twitter and you follow me, look for some comments in the later afternoon, early evening tomorrow. Also, I'm going to have a recap show Sunday or Monday, recapping the pick five at Keeneland and the 3-grade stake races that are preps for the Kentucky Derby. And then next Thursday night, same time, same bat channel. Actually, sorry, the time is the same. It'll be back on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It is Arkansas Derby weekend. Next weekend at Oaklawn. It's a big stakes race day there, and we're going to preview the races at Oaklawn next weekend. Again, please make sure, if you have any comments, please make sure you comment down below the video player. Also, contact me through email at hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. Again, it's been on the scroll. You can see it on the scroll. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel right there. And thank you very much. Again, I appreciate all the support. Don't forget to play the contest also. You have to go to episode 23 and watch it and pick your trifecta and your estimated $1 cost to win the free contest tomorrow for the Wood Memorial. Have a great weekend. Again, happy Easter to everyone who celebrates that on Sunday. Good luck on a great racing day tomorrow. This has been Howard Kravitz for Howard's Horse Handicapping. Good night and good luck.